Okay, now you've had a little bit of time to work on your worksheet. Again, if you didn't get that done, it will just become part of your homework. What I'm going to do now is explain to you how that exponential and logarithmic relation occurs. So we're going to do what's called converting between exponential equations and logarithmic equations and going back and forth. So the key component of what we're going to do now is remember that when we had this, it was the inverse of an exponential function. We have a better way to write this, and it's just called log form. And you'll notice that log form actually has the word log in it. So it's pretty easy to understand that log form has the word log in it, and the exponential form is written as an exponent. So a couple key components that I want you to understand. And the first one is notice that the log is actually your exponent. So when I'm asking you what is a log is referring to the exponent. So basically this is read, the log of x to the base a equals y. So notice that the base gets dropped down a little bit. And again, notice that y is your exponent and that is your power, which is what the log really is. So again, we're going to start taking a look at a couple of examples of this. It'll start to become more clear once you go through examples. Okay, so what we're going to do is keep this key thing in mind where this is our exponential form. The inverse of it is the logarithmic form. So what I'm going to ask you to do is convert all of these exponential forms into logarithmic form. So anytime I ask you to use the logarithmic form, we're going for this part, which basically, notice has the word log. Okay? Now you can rewrite this. It's the same thing as log base a of x equals y. Doesn't matter which way you write that. So I'm going to ask you some questions all the time. So we're going to change this to the log form. So I'm going to write down log. I'm going to ask you what your base is. Now in this problem, your base is what is the thing that you are taking to the power of. In this case, my base is 2. That gets dropped down a little bit. And then it says of what? Well, it's of the number 8, because keep in mind that the log is really the exponent. So then it would have to equal x. So this is the exponential form changed to logarithmic form. We're just going to practice that a couple times. So this would say the log of base what? My base is 10. It's of what number? The number is 1,000. And remember that the log is actually the exponent. So that would equal 3. Now I want you to notice that when you have this exponential form and everything is filled in, like you don't have a variable there, that numbers should totally make sense. Like 10 to the third is definitely 1,000. So logarithms eventually will start making sense to you. I know it's kind of strange today, but eventually they'll start making sense. Let's try this last one here. So it'd be log base what? This is your base. So remember that gets dropped down a little bit. Of what? And it's of 4. And then don't forget the log is actually the exponent. So it equals -1. So we just converted 3 exponential forms into logarithmic form. Okay, we're going to try some more. We're still going to convert to logarithmic form. So I'm going to start again filling in. So I would have, I'm doing this part, which again you can write also this way. It would be log base a of x equals y. And again, notice that your base is the thing that is being taken to the power of, and what it equals is actually the exponent. Notice again, these should make sense. 6 to the 0 power is 1. So this is exponential form, and we're going to change it to log form. So it'd be log of base 6 of what number? It's 1, and it would equal the exponent, which is 0. This one, notice a 1, 10 to the -3rd gives you a decimal, because remember that's really 1 over 10 to the 3rd, which would be 1 over 1,000. And decimal wise, that's the same number as 0.001. So I'm going to change it to log form. So it'd be log base 10 of what number? My number is 0.001. and then that will equal the exponent. Remember, the log is the exponent, which is -3. I'm going to try one more here. It'd be log base 16. That's the number that is the base. Of what number? The number is 2, and then it will equal the exponent. The exponent is 1/4. Okay, now what we're going to do on this page is we're going to go back the other way. You should be able to go back and forth from exponential form to logarithmic form. So you will notice that this problem is written in log form, but I want you to write it in exponential form. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions every time. The first one is, what is the base? Remember, the base is the drop-down number. So my question is, what is the base? The base is 3. What is the power? Now remember, what the log equals is the power. So in this case, y is the power. And what would that equal? And it would be 5. Now I call this kind of a nonsense problem because I'm not exactly sure what y would equal. And again, you'll notice that I don't have all 3 numbers, so this one doesn't make a ton of sense, but eventually they will. So let's try another one. So again, I'm going to ask you, what is the base? The base in this case is a. What is the power it's being taken to? Remember, the log, the thing that it equals is the power, and then it would be of what number, and it's the number 7. So again, I don't know what I take to a power of -2 to get 7, so this one again might not make a whole lot of sense. Our next page, I'm going to do some problems that should make sense. So hang on here. Okay, what we're going to do next, and I'm not sure where you're at with everything. So your first part of your homework is to finish up the worksheet of the review of powers and the graphing. And then the second part, you're going to have a worksheet on converting from logarithmic to exponential back and forth. And both of those will be due Monday. So don't forget, both due on Monday. Hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you back on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.